Hey everybody, it's Audrey again. I have been busy this week with videos. I have a lot of videos coming up. I'm super excited. This one today is for Scrap Our Stash, and it's a group of scrappers who get together every month and kind of do a blog hop while using our stash, actually digging in. And as you know, I recently just went through my scrap room and purged a whole bunch of stuff and cleaned and organized. I have a scrap room tour video up. And when I was going through my stuff, I remembered this beautiful collection by Basic Grey and this one by Studio Calico. The Basic Grey one is called Soleil, and the Studio Calico one is called Heyday. And they're just the kind of different color palettes. I don't actually end up using the Studio Calico one, but oh, and here's this other collection that I just used. I just loved this one too. This was called Printshop by Studio Calico, and I use a couple things from that. I think I use one of the background papers, and oops, I just hit my camera there. Yeah, I use this picture from that collection. So that is from the Studio Calico Printshop collection. And it's difficult to see in the video, but it's kind of like some teal blue lines in the background. But this Soleil collection from Basic Grey, I don't think it was a real popular one. It has a lot of purple in it, lavender and like a darker purple. And it totally reminds me, it's very, very similar to Sassafras Lass. If you've been scrapping for a while, you remember Sassafras. And the patterns and some of the prints, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the Sassafras Lass designers actually designed this collection, because I know it came out after Sassafras Lass closed or was done, but this collection is very, very close to it. And because it reminded me of that collection, I went through my other stash, my stickers and stuff, and I pulled out some old Sassafras Lass like flower stickers, and like I have little flowers with buttons there, and then I just pulled out a couple other ephemera pieces and things. So that is what I'm going to work with today. And I gotta tell you, it feels so great to actually go through my stash and use it. I really like how this page ends up. It's not my most favorite page ever, but I'll tell you, it just feels so good to have used my stash and be happy with the page. And it's interesting, I think, how you can go back to an old collection and, you know, because styles change and trends change. You can go back to an old collection and put a new twist on it with new trends. So I add some die cuts and stuff, as you'll see here a little bit. I don't know where I went right now. Where did I go? I must have, oh, I know. See that template there on the side? I went to go get some templates because I wanted to do something with a little bit more with the background here. So I don't end up using that little one on the left, but for some reason I just thought, you know what, I need an arc. I need a curve in this because I want the focus of the photo. I want the photo to be on the curve and be a focus point on that curve. So I don't know where that came from. It just popped into my head that I need a curve. So I pulled out this other 12 by 12 stencil here, and it's just a series of like kind of random dots, and I'm going through with these ink pads. And this one is kind of a mustardy yellow, and I'm going through with some daubers and just daubing the ink through the circles. And it looks so pretty on the stencil. And when I lift it up, I'm just like, ew. It was just, oh, like some of the yellow ink had kind of pooled underneath. I had too much on there, so now I'm trying to take it off, and I'm like, oh gosh, I think I ruined it. You don't even see it at the end, so I just continue to go with it. I try to cover it up a little bit with some pink here, and that big blob kind of there in the center, yeah, I put my photo right over it, so bye-bye to that blob. And the other one doesn't even really show up, so it all worked out in the end, as it always does. Okay, so I had cut a little strip of that heart paper because I definitely wanted to use that. I just love the print and I love the colors in it. And I really wanted to use purple. I don't use purple a lot. It's funny I said that because I've only done, this is what, my 23rd process video, and probably in 2 or 3 of them I've used purple. But yeah, I've just been on a little bit of a purple kick lately. So anyway, I used a little bit of that purple in the background, and I have these super cool vellum stickers that went with that collection as well. They're long printed vellum stickers. And my original plan was to stitch that arc, which I do, but I wanted to use some of this vellum tape, and I just started tearing it and putting it down on the arc. Again, not one of those like planned things. I just thought, oh, I want to highlight that arc a little bit more. So yeah, and I like how this ends up coming out. So I wanted to add another little another color that brought in a lot of contrast and maybe a little bit more brightness, because I do have my black and white photo, and the purples were a little bit you know, more pale and pastel. So that yellow piece in the back really adds a nice pop. This sassafras sticker matched perfectly. So this wasn't with the Soleil collection. It was off of one of those sassafras sheets. I also had the ephemera pack, or the die cut pack, from the Soleil collection, and I had gone through that earlier, as you saw, and just picked out a couple of the die cuts that I thought might work on this page. And some of them are like an acetate die cut, and a couple are just the plain, you know, thicker paper. So I have an acetate a cluster of flowers there in the bottom corner, and then a couple die cut ones, and then those little banner, those pennant shapes, they were also in there. I think there used to be more, but I'm pretty sure I used the other banner shapes on another layout a long time ago. So I also pulled out the Dear Lizzie chipboard there from, oh, I forget that line. Yeah, I don't remember it right now. It'll probably pop into my head later, but that purplish blue periwinkle color, I guess, that was in that collection too. So I needed a little like purplish periwinkle accent on the left of the photo there, because I had the heart sticker up on that cloud and then the banner piece on the bottom, and I gotta create that visual triangle. So I added that little loved chipboard piece. Pulling out some of those stars. Those are from Studio Calico, the print shop. Those are so cool. I thought I pulled them out, I thought they were rub-ons. They're actually, they're like vellum stickers, and they kind of look like rub-ons when you put them on, but they are super cool. So they are slightly transparent, and I just love the little touch that those added as well. So it's funny because this picture of my daughter was taken at the summer when we were out to dinner after a boat ride, and you know, it reminded me. It's a summery picture to me. I know it's in black and white, and the Soleil collection, I think, was marketed as kind of a summery collection, but it doesn't. This page doesn't really feel super summery. I mean, it's bright and stuff, but it doesn't scream, you know, summer layout. But I kind of like that, so I'm glad I decided to work with this collection. Okay, so I have just gone through and pulled a couple stickers out. I'm fussy cutting out some small flowers from this piece of pattern paper now to bring in a little bit more of kind of like a magenta color and adding that in. That one heart at the top was bugging me, so I had to switch it out for a different heart for a slightly different color. Put that circle there, didn't like it because I thought it was too much of that orangey color, and I liked kind of having that space there to the right of the photo, and I thought that would be a good space for a title. And you know, I'm going through, I really like the way this is right now, and actually I don't change much from this point on. I do add a few more things, but you know, I think this is going to be it. I decided that there was a lot of color, a lot of pattern. There was nothing solid on this page, really. So I went through my little die cut drawer of pieces that I have left over from, you know, if I die cut things out and I didn't necessarily use all the pieces, I saved them. And these were some white flowers and white leaves that I saved from, I don't even really remember what project they were or what cut files they were, but I had them in my drawer, and I just pulled them out and tucked them under the layers of the flowers there in the little clusters, and that was just the touch I needed. Just having that white, plain solid white, kind of as a contrast to help kind of, I think, ground the flower clusters a little bit more. So I've taken everything off because I'm going to stitch now around that arc, and I've taped and glued things down where I know I'm not going to be sewing over, just to kind of be like almost like a place marker. And I've gone through and stitched with like a periwinkle blue thread over the arc. And I'm just going to go back and now add all the little bits back on my page. I popped off that cloud with some pop dots or foam squares, and I'm going to do the same thing with a couple of these layers here and pop them up or layer them on top and pop a few of the flowers and such to kind of give them a little bit more depth and dimension. Doing this stash project this month, like I said, it has really inspired me, and I have been digging into, since I've made this page, I've made a couple others, and I have really been digging into my stash, and I'm so proud of myself for doing that, and you know, using the stuff that I actually have. That mist there was an old glimmer mist. It's the only purple mist I have. It's called Sugar Plum Fairy, I think. And yeah, it's the only shade of purple, and it is a very plum color. It's not a bright purple at all, but it's pretty. It does have a little bit of glimmer to it. All of my glimmer mists are clogged, like the nozzles are, and I don't really use mists for spring anymore anyway, but I don't think I could use them unless I got some new nozzles to spray with, so I can use them as mists anyway. Okay, what am I doing here? Oh, okay. Those little acetate sheets, that the die cuts, the little, like that little purple banner I have on the left, I know some brands have like a film over them, like a layer of film that helps prevent from scratching or something. And I knew that these basic gray ones had that layer of film on it. So do you think that I could find the edge of that film and pull it off? Finally, oh my gosh, I must have been sitting there, I don't know for how long. I think I had tried it again or just there, and I couldn't find it, and then so I put it down to the side, and now I'm going to go back again, and that's what I'm doing off camera. So I'm taking my scissors and kind of scratching it. I wish I had it on camera because I'm looking at it so close to my face, and I cannot find that little edge of that film. Finally, I find it, and I pull it off, but oh my gosh, what a chore. There it is. You can see the little film piece by my purple edge distressor there. What a chore for that. But I just staple that on because sometimes you can see glue dots and stuff from it, so behind it. So I just added, secured it on there with staples. I wasn't sure what color to use for a title. I didn't want anything too bright. I didn't really want to cut anything on my machine. And I really wasn't sure at first what my title was going to be, but I looked at this photo and I just thought about how much my daughter reminds me of me, like so much lately. And that's why I titled it, That's My Girl. And those letters that, I think that is an Amy Tan, or maybe it's a Dear Lizzie thickers, the white ones. So I just used those, and I hand wrote in the part that says That's My. And I'm just going to add a little journaling. I probably could have written a lot more, but I just had a few important things I wanted to say, I guess. So I get to this point and I'm just like, okay, is this done? It looks pretty good. I knew I wanted to add the date here, and so I add the date, my date stamp there underneath my journaling. And in my stamp drawer, my date stamps, I had a couple other that were just kind of phrase stamps. And I'm like, you know what, let me just use a couple of those. Because that background paper had some phrases like on it already, which I think you'll be able to see in the close-up. So I just went through this phrase stamp and found some fun phrases that I liked. And I'm just kind of stamping them randomly on the page too. Lastly, I felt I could use a few more brads. I have a piece of flair on there, by the way, from a shop in Canada called Cuts to Love. Gorgeous flair. I just bought a whole bunch. I'm so excited to use more, but you can kind of see it there to the bottom right of my photo. There you go. There's the finished layout. I did add one piece of old, like an old brad there. Oh, there's the flare. Good picture of it there. So lots of fun layers. Oh my gosh. Again, it felt so good to use my stash. I loved it, loved it. Please go into your stash. make something beautiful, and you'll feel so good that you used it. Okay, stay tuned. I have another video coming up very soon. Thanks so much for stopping by.